Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Zelda's ZSR main here. We've got the Game 3 of A Link to the Past Randomizer Challenge Cup 2023 match here between Magno and Kaesden. I'm starting with me for this match is Becky. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Star?
Doing all right. Looking forward to a good Game 3 here. For those who are just joining us, we have just finished restreaming their Game 2, which was a very, very miserable Fadkey seed. So let's see how this seed goes. This one is a McBoss seed this time.
Yeah, McBoss, it's certainly a mode. It's fun to watch, so I'll say that.
Want to explain what this mode is?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, McBoss is, maps and compasses are shuffled throughout the whole game, but small keys and big keys are not. Those are still in the dungeons as normal. So you don't know which dungeons you need to beat to get your 7 crystals, and you don't know what. And then you also those boss shuffle in this game, those full boss shuffle. So you do not know what the bosses will be, except for Aga 1, Aga 2, and Ganon, also Vanilla. And for the bosses, 3 of them will appear twice in the game, and the rest will only appear once, but we don't know which ones will appear twice. So, this mode can be difficult, because one, you have to do some low equipment boss fights early on, and secondly, when you're going to the end of a dungeon, you don't always know if it's a crystal or a pendant, and if it's required, and you don't know if you can even beat the boss. So it tends to encourage you to take some risks when you go to dungeons, and it can be difficult to know what decisions to make. So, but it can also be really fun and exciting.
So, should be a good match to watch here. We will be starting shortly. Just going to quickly set up another prediction. The 20 bucks in the sank, so already off to a great start here. Jed's suggesting inverted cross keys pot sanity should be in the tournament. I think we'll be okay. My first ever cross keys commentary and my first time seeing inverted at all was for inverted cross keys, not pot sanity, and it was a mess.
Yeah, we have both players here doing about to safe start. So, see if they get anything from the tree pole.
Priorum, we've got ourselves a McBoss seed today for this match, and that's a hurt piece of Lumberjack Ledge.
Also, nice bombs for Kaesden. Magno did not get those, but there'll be another tree pole in the. Well, was it did Kaesden kill 4 enemies? He only killed the one, right? I think he did. I think it was.
Yeah, I think he killed the guard outside Sank. I don't think he killed 4 though.
Yeah, the only match if you kill 1 or 4, and if you take a hit.
Just a map. Oh, interesting. Map on the mushroom spot, which Magno did not choose to pick up, which is a curious play. Thankfully mapped to GT, but it is to note that in McBoss, the maps and compasses are useful. Maps will tell you if a dungeon has a crystal or pendant, and compasses will tell you what the boss is, once you check the map inside the dungeon. Curious that Magno skipped the map to GT there.
Okay, yeah, somehow Magno's not getting the same tree poles as Kaesden, so I miss why that's happening.
Yeah. Alright, no bumps for Magnus, so he's going to take a gamble and immediately head over here, find a hammer in the well, which is substantially better than the last game.
Yeah,
and
I think both players would be a lot happier to have a hammer. Also, that's good for Magno that they get some bombs in here, because he didn't have any, so he won't lose any time diving well a bit early without bombs.
No, could have also dived blindside without bombs, because there was more bombs in there too.
Yeah, normally with bombs, a safer bet is Cackwell, because it's not as bad to have to go back to for that last check. A little faster than going back to Blind's Hut if you have to revisit with bombs.
Yep.
And honestly, the other nice part about a hammer right now is at least we actually have a weapon, too. So if you want to do like mini Moldum Cave or some other things now, and navigate in the overworld, having an actual weapon is nice. And a boomerang, too.
Yeah, that's for sure, and it's gonna be... And hammer is one of the better weapons to find early in boss shuffle, because it's effective against a lot of bosses.
Yeah, and in a lot of instances, you'll be happier having that than a fighter sword. So, definitely nice.
Yeah, because it does more damage than fighter. There's also a glove. Okay, really big from last game.
Might be getting very early Darkhold access in this seed. It's starting to get that sign.
Yeah, just a bit here as our runner's almost synced to going into the chicken hut.
Oh, and another glove.
And there's...
Okay.
Okay. Where's the moon pearl?
Okay, we'll definitely get early Darkhold access. Cool.
We're really getting early Darkhold access. That is really, really fast.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool if the game to now put the moon pearl on Pyramid. That would be cool. I don't expect it. Obviously, pretty low chance.
It's a low chance it's possible, but that would just be an absolute troll, given that it just gave us hammer and both gloves in CAC. Didn't catch the item on the library there. Rover, I'm pretty sure Ragna is dead. We know that the lumberjack tree is just a hurt piece, and you don't need it for our Darkhold access when you've got hammer in both gloves. One of our checkers, Ragna, confirming just a bit of love in the library. How scandalous!
And now we'll see back up a skate. Now we have a glove or two gloves, so makes sense. Quick checks before you head over to like Saha Eastern, or South Shore. Also, you could do Final Escape and Uncle. I don't see anyone going up mountain out of logic yet. That would be pretty crazy at this point.
Both runners have seen lumberjack. It's a hard piece.
And Kaesden choosing to go straight to South Shore and not doing the immediate back of escape, which back of escape didn't have much besides a little bit of cash, so that's not going to hurt Kaesden. And obviously they can do back of escape very easily at any point in the game.
Yep. Alright, Dam giving us a single green rupee.
And my guess is with the current equipment, both the players are going to skip Agina's right now, most likely, and we'll probably just head east, and which makes sense. When you already have a glove and mitts, I probably would do the same thing.
Yeah, at this point, or
nope.
Okay, Kaesden's gonna prove you wrong. And,
okay,
prove me wrong as well as I have to agree with you, because
yeah, it's not a bad play. Like, it's a more thorough play. Sometimes if you get something good out of this, then it's huge.
Yeah.
And you're pretty much never gonna you're never gonna lose a race because you went only to Agina's and got nothing out of it. Like, it's not. So it's often a pretty good play because it can pay off huge sometimes.
It can, and yeah, because especially as the review of our other tracker notes, if Merle hears it's a very likely skip, and Magno proving it, because, yeah, he is heading on over to Mini Moldarm Cave. And Agita is 3 bombs. Well, that was not worth it.
Okay, Magno. You only have 2 bombs.
Has a hammer, but
One
needs
heart,
to not
though.
die! Oh, these are trolling hard.
He has to get this in 1 hit without being hit. This is scary with hammer. This is actually not easy.
And there's a death. Ouch.
Yeah, and also has no bomb, so Magno need to get some bombs soon as well. Although he could hope that they're in Moldum Cave and just go back and just do it all hammer. All hammer strats.
Yeah. Let's see how Kaesden does. He's got more bombs.
It's a
The
good point,
Moldarms are
Ruby.
still trolling him.
Yeah, Magno could have farmed the bomb out of the rock there, but he's just gonna buy a 10-pack here, check the Lake Island, then probably go to Saha, and then double
Map
back
on the
later.
Lake Island, the Red Meringue, and lamp for Kaesden. And not much else.
Oh, Lamp's
Lamp
nice.
is lamp gives us logical access to the mountain.
Yeah, that does. Potentially Dark Cross if there's an item there. Obviously, we can go a little bit deeper in Eastern, although I don't think anyone's going to be rushing Eastern. Maybe Escape soon, but if you have better options, you won't go there.
Yeah. Lamp's not nothing if mirrors vanilla. I mean, well, that's possible. Alright. Green pendant is in Miter today, okay. Even in McBoss, you can't get information on placement of the green pendant and red crystals from Saha and the bomb vendor respectively. Map the thieves and our first sword in Saha's hut, okay.
Not bad equipment rise. Okay, desert compass, which we do care about those today, so that's cool.
You do want to know the information on the boss. It's always a little rude when you go all the way to the end of Ice Palace, for instance, and drop in on a oh, oops. Hi, Trinex.
Yeah, Ice Palace, in like Eastern, and even like Mire and Total Rock. There's a handful of dungeons that take forever to get to the back of, even if you've already been in them once. So you really just don't want to have to come back. It feels like a huge time loss. I think you just wonder, did my opponent, are they going to be able to single dip this? Like not go to the boss, and not be able to do it the first time, like I did? So you always hate those moments. But sometimes you have to make those plays and hope the boss is beatable.
Yeah. Because in order to kill all bosses, you need both rods for Trinex, you need a hookshot for Argus, you need either hammer or sword, and need either a hammer or sword for the rest, essentially. Canes can help with some of the bosses. But you need hammer or sword, both rods, and hookshot and hookshot to be able to kill all bosses confirmed. And then potentially, if depending on the location of some of those things, you might need a cane. You might need a bow potentially. There's a couple things.
And flute for Kaesden. Imagine not Uncle Routing. Would have had that.
Right?
First trip to CAC. Come on. Just know the items are and route correctly for the items.
But no, in this seed they both played immediately to the Sankstar, while Kaesden did do Uncle Route last in the first game, in their game 2 earlier. Perhaps wishing he did the same now, but that's how it goes. It's going to go to Friend of Escape now, though.
Yeah, I imagine.
So we're going to see what's here.
And we've already gotten 4 items, because we got an item in sync, and we got 3 items in the back. So both our players, because they've checked those 4 items, know that Friend of Escape and Dark Cross, one of those items is a key, obviously, which they don't really care about, so they were going back up Escape. So we'll be getting 3 items here. We don't know, but we don't know which one will be the key. Could be Dark Cross. Could be right here.
It's Dark Cross, so we can skip that.
Yeah, logically it has to be. That makes sense.
Yep. Magno picking up his flute and is right behind here. Is going to have a little bit of an easier time with that sword. The hammer hitbox can be a little funky at times.
Oh, good money. Nice.
Very nice. Zora's a thing. We have both gloves to get there.
Yeah, so it is logic. I don't imagine anyone rushing over to do that.
No, they're not rushing there, but it is an option at some point.
So the nice thing here, since Magno has to flute, as is the case, but Magno can pretty easily flute over to Agina's later. Yep. So that won't be as much of a sore spot for them. It obviously doesn't matter, but at least for Magno's, like, in his mind, if he needs to check it, it's not a big deal now.
Yep. And Zelda Cell is nothing.
Kaesden is going to Death Rope, which implies to me that he's going to check Dark Cross.
He checked the back of Escape, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he probably just forgot. He's going to realize in a moment, and then feel silly.
Yeah, this is going to be like a minute time loss, which feels bad. And a minute can be a big difference in these races.
Definitely.
We've seen races that came down to let's go do a frame count levels of close in this tournament already.
Trying to think, after this, let's see. So, Kaesden did not do Saha yet, I believe. I don't think we saw it from him.
No, Magno
No,
went to the Eastern.
Yep, and that's a key for Kaesden. Probably feels like, oh shoot, yep, I should have known that. It happens to everyone though.
It does, and that's a simultaneous save quit from our runners.
So let's see. Kaesden is up the Genus check, and Magno is up the Saha checks.
Yep.
And
so this is going to be a flute activation to possibly a mountain trip.
Yep, that's what would make the most sense. I could see maybe Magno checking the Genus real fast, but I highly doubt you probably do that later if Mountain doesn't pay off. Because on Mountain you can't do a whole lot. You can do Old Man and Spec Rock Cave, but at this point you probably feel like, well, those are two quick checks in comparison to like diving Eastern, potentially nothing and wasting time. And you can just get the two checks out of the way before you decide where else to go.
Easton might be a little more appealing for Kaesden because he hasn't been there at all, so he's got the extra 3 checks in Saha's hut, but Magno doesn't have those anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And maybe Kaesden's planning here to try to save those 2 trips together, do Saha Eastern together. So let's go to Mountain first, and then hope we can combine Saha and Eastern and get away with that to save a little bit of routing time.
And as expected, this is a mountain play for both our runners.
Personally, I'm thinking I feel like we're gonna get a mirror soon. Is my next guess of progression. Just feeling it.
Yeah, I can see that honestly for hair access, right side of the mountain.
You could go to checkerboard for progression as well if you have a mirror. Oh, never mind, magic that.
Oh, that's a fetch quest.
These rocks being mean, but Kaesden has plenty of health, as does Magno, so should be okay.
Yeah, Magno took a rather unfortunate death at the time, somewhat less unfortunate in hindsight on the mountain here last game, so... Look, he does make it up to the top this time, good.
Good, yeah. Okay, mountain is disappointing, but it's good knowledge, and we got powder, so that, I said both players will go check that almost immediately.
Yeah, check powder, go... Eastern, really. Batteries even exist in Hyrule?
Does what even exist?
Batteries. Looking at the conversation in chat.
Ah.
Just chat is suggesting that, because one of our trackers Raka asking, how did the old man's lantern die? They don't require magic to shine light, dumb old man. And someone else is suggesting ran out of fuel or batteries died. Well, I don't know if batteries exist in Hyrule.
Magic batteries, maybe. Somehow. A pearl on bat.
There's Moon Pearl.
Beautiful. Nice.
Okay, yes, there are batteries in Tears of the Kingdom, but that is also at least 10,000 years in the future from the point of from ALttP, sorry. So, you know, I'm not sure they exist 10,000 years before Tears of the Kingdom.
I like
also,
Kaesden.
spoilers for that game.
You can come here, you can do Meyer Shade really quickly, get info on Meyer Medallion, although who doesn't know it's a green pendant yet, but it's still good to have the info about Meyer.
Yeah. And Quake is the medallion.
Quake. Cool. And one thing, because another thing to consider is, you can arguably have an increased chance of diving pendants in this mode versus like a regular open mode, because since you don't have maps and compasses removed from the dungeons. Okay, we got Bombo, so that's a very nice medallion. You can use it for Ice Palace potentially, or Cold Stare if you have to come up against Cold Stare. But what I was saying with the maps and compasses, since they're removed from the dungeon, that now means every dungeon has 2 more unique checks that we want to do. So as you know, Misery Mine would only have 2 unique items that we would care about. Now we have 4. So all of these pendants potentially have a higher chance of having progression or items we care about. So obviously we don't want to rush them still. We want to get away with not going into them. But you got to consider them more than you might have to in like a standard open mode. But not quite as much as a full key sanity.
No, and we're gonna see both runners take the Dark World portal here south of Link's house, straight to Hype Cave. Let's see if it's actually hype or if it's a snooze. Oh, blue mail's nice. $50. The compass to swamp and the hurt piece. Could be worse.
Yeah, blue mail's nice. Obviously, Death Wolf Being's a little bit of me a pain right now, but if you come up on a boss by now, that's a bit of a pain. When you corner equipment, you'll be happy to have the blue mail at this point.
Yeah, there are worse things to find at least. Gonna see what our red crystals are. Odd and Eastern. Thanks, game.
We definitely need a bow. Then
we really need a bow, apparently. Yeah. Kaesden was running low on bombs, so also bought some more from the bomb shop here, and we're gonna head on over to the village of outcasts from the south since we have those mitts.
Yeah, when you have mitts, it pretty much always makes sense to go left from Hype Cave when you do this route versus going right and to do Pyramid and Catfish. Like this is objectively like the better way to go, since you can just lift up the rock right into the village of outcasts and just continue overworld checks and holy dungeon diving.
And one of our checkers to the Reuben does have a good point that it might not be much, but that sword is adding up some time for Magno over having to lift bushes to get around. That is a map we don't need to Hyrule Castle. Thanks!
Magno is going for the Smith. Okay, he's gonna turn in the Smith, and then boot back and then go back into Village of Outcasts.
It's not a terrible play.
Well, Kaesden's gonna hold on and do more checks in the Dark World before doing that.
Yeah, it looks like it. Kaesden's gonna go do hammer pegs the really slow way.
Yeah, interesting change, because like Magno's probably gonna try to do hammer pegs with purple chest later on, so that you don't have to walk over here twice. But then when Magno's doing it, you're putting off this item, which could be potentially something you want sooner. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Mirror here would be good, but nope, $20.
Well, we have zero money again. Well, Kaesden does. Magno already did.
Yeah.
Actually, when he turns into Smith, he's gonna lose 10 rupees, and then be 1 rupee short of zero money again. Yeah.
And Kaesden just gonna keep taking the old man on a bit of a tour of the village, it looks like.
Yeah, because Smith will go in all these places, except the dungeons, essentially, in a non-entrance mode. So this makes sense to do. It's not slowing you down at all. Oh, and there's the first search for Kaesden.
Okay, that's not a bad spot for that.
Nah, I think Magno's going to be on Master Sword in a little while.
Yep. And Magno is doing Skull Woods first before Thieves Town, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, personally like to play, like, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it earlier. But also, it's totally fine to not do it. It's kind of like a 50-50 thing. Or maybe probably a little higher than that I would, potentially have time I would personally do it. Oh, there's the mirror.
Oh, there's a mirror.
Kaesden's not turning to Smith immediately. He's going to keep Smith with them in the Dark World. If they go to Skull Woods, they get the mirror, it's going to work out, but they don't know that yet.
No, they don't.
No, they're not even going. I think he's gonna realize. Oh, yep. Now they realize.
Yeah, I was like, Kaesden?
Although they couldn't even go to Inniskil Woods, so like they just wouldn't be able to get the mirror at all because the smith.
Yeah, because they can't go in with a smith.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a routing error from him.
Could be just a little too much rando playing 2 games in a row. Also, doesn't everyone makes this mistake, so it's not even like that's abnormal. Oh, another shovel.
Oh, hey,
for
there's
us.
a shovel.
Well, I can't lock hammer. We'll see what else it does lock this time.
Lock the hammer. It could still lock something else, though.
Yeah, I obviously still need quite a bit, so who knows.
And Zarivan has a point, too, that you can route that with the mirror house since you haven't taken the purple chest yet.
Yeah, that would be some nice routing. That I wouldn't be surprised to see our players do that.
We're not playing. They're not our opponents.
All right, now.
True, you are still this tournament, so you might get to face off against one of these guys in the later round.
I'm actually playing the winner of this next round, which is why part of why I want to watch this race.
Right. Yeah, it's scoping at your future opponent, huh?
I'm a little too excited. That's what it was. Slip of the tongue.
Nah, you're good. Don't save me the having to go look up who their next opponent is, because I haven't done that yet. Oops. But one shell for this game, that would be funny.
Oh, it's money in this seed.
Yeah, they're rich.
Which probably means Zora won't have anything. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Compass the Mire in Thieves Town, that is one of the nicer ones to get. The Mire boss is a little slow to get to.
Yeah, the Mire's definitely one we want the compass. Also, when it's a pendant, even more so, a green pendant. Yeah, I really want that info.
Yeah. And Magno is going to set up a current jump to get to the right side of the Dark World here. Essentially, this is a fake flipper, but because the angle of the, geography here, you need to use a bomb to force yourself far enough down the screen to actually hit that screen transition. And there we go. Nicely done. Logic does not require money drops before Zora. You can be forced to go grind money the really slow way off for it.
Yeah, the game pretty much always assumes that you have all the money you need, all the bombs you need, arrows, etc., anything like that. Because there's always ways to farm them, even if they're not fun.
Yeah. Like, you can always go through rocks or bushes or sort of it.
Yeah, or just like go farm it in Blind's Hut, worst case scenario. Rule hand if you have the right equipment to do it.
It might not be fast, but it is in logic. But it is doable,
yeah.
And so it's in logic. There's our bow off catfish.
That's something that Kaesden may not get to for a while. Oh my, Kaesden, I know someone who... I mean, a catfish play like this can be kind of 50-50 for some people. Or some people just never do it. We'll see. I know...
That's a beautiful Ansela fake flipper for Magno, by the way. Blink and you miss it, and he's already done it.
He is actually renowned for his great splash elites, so it's typical splash elites by Magno.
Yeah, very nicely done. I don't see Ansela fake flippers super often. That was a very good one, and a pair of heart containers is kind of funny.
Hey, you don't see
Waterfall Fairy.
You use that the Waterfall Fairy quite as often. It comes up usually after you mirror from Catfish, because otherwise, if you're fake flippering from like Hylia, then you already have a flipper state.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a cave in the Thieves Town big chest. Yeah, I don't think we're doing an Ansela fake flipper for the map on Zora Ledge. I don't think that's worth it.
Also, I forgot to point out, this is the back of a McBoss Thieves. You don't actually have to do this. The Kaesden's doing this, find the 3 items. He's gotten cape so far. We'll see what the other 2 items are that Kaesden finds.
Yeah. And Zora's a scam. Pay 500, get 20 back. Magno's not even gonna take that.
You got plenty of money, but while the flipper checks didn't have anything, some nice heart containers. The bow from Catfish is pretty huge. Also of note is that Kaesden got that cape in the attic, but we already saw Magno scout out Upper Ledge, and it was just a heart. So, it could come in logic with Spike Cave, but other than that, and also be just a helpful item, but it's not required at this moment.
Yep. Oh, great. Small key and blind cell. Thankfully, we do have the big key. They will not be hard orphaning the Thieves Town big chest in this game.
Yeah, it would feel bad to come do the back of these 3 checks and Thieves not be able to do one of them.
Yep.
Using another hammer or something.
And this chest has the mushroom.
Oh my god,
great
of course.
Game.
We've already seen
Don't worry about
powder.
fake powder, because they had to get the powder first since they locked their Moon Pearl.
Yeah, so we've already seen the mushroom, Magno's gotten the shovel, and now we've seen powder. So we've already seen 3 of the fetch crests. We haven't seen what mushroom and shovel give. So Magno and Kaesden each have 1 fetch crest each to go do.
Indeed. And Kaesden arriving on the boss now, which is a vanilla blind. Chen was discussing this a minute ago, but in Boss Miser, you do not need to bomb the hole in the attic, and you don't need, and in fact, you can do the boss before the rest of the back, because, well, if the boss is anything but blind, you don't need to blow the attic up, and for consistency, even if it is a vanilla blind like this, you still don't need to blow the attic up.
And that was really nice that the Thieves Town attic had that cape, and that Kaesden grabbed it, because it made that fight infinitely easier. Because when you have to fight blind and this boss shuffle, you can't do the script, because the fight starts off differently. He already starts off active. So having that cape with the sword makes it so much easier. So you don't have to like dodge your bunts and get more annoying hits. They both have plenty of health, so they could do it. But it definitely makes it just completely free and really nice.
Yeah, for sure. Magno just finding keys here in the front of Hava as the usual. And that was a crystal off Thieves Town as well, which is nice. Her first of 7. Magno's gonna get his first and second here from Polyester in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, and if they can beat the bosses.
Yeah, good point. We don't know what the bosses are. I don't think we've seen the compass for either dungeon.
The movie in chat mentioned this is a really good play by Magno. He has the bow, which he knows is something that, because it was on Catfish, Kaesden may not get that bow for a while. And since he has the mirror from Skull Woods, he can very easily combine this together, pod with Eastern, and even if he can't beat the bosses, these are just a lot of item checks. And you can also might be able to beat the bosses, so it's a pretty good. This is a pretty good play for Magno, especially with the equipment he's gotten. It's an even better play.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pod and Eastern are 2 of the boss rooms with the least restrictions, because while the boss of each dungeon is randomized, it is not. There are some restrictions just based on the boss rooms. Like, for example, the 2 Moldorm arenas are both very small, and there's only about like 4 or 5 bosses that can appear on them. Same goes for, I know Moth's room is quite restrictive. There are some bosses that just straight up do not fit in there, or barely do in the case of a Helmicopter. But Eastern Pod really don't have any restrictions. They're pretty good-sized boss rooms with lots of space for the boss.
Yep.
And it looks like Magno's gonna just go see what the boss is directly, and then do the rest. Go do the back, which, well, he wants that information here.
I don't know if I like that play personally, because you might be able to get more items from the back that assist you with the boss and increase your chances of being able to beat it. But I won't say it's a bad play. It could pay off.
Yeah.
You see, right now we can't beat Argus. No Trinex. I think we can now, because we have Bombos with Cold Stare, we can beat everything else. You know, Argus and Trinex are usually the 2 that are a huge pain to beat, because you need Fire Rod, Ice Rod, and Hook Shot. But I wonder if Kiggs is gonna feel the need to take that shovel away earlier this seed. Oh no, gonna go up mountain. This also makes a lot of sense. Now that you have mirror, you can combine it with your mitts and your hammer. You can ride a bit on mountain.
And in fact, Kaesden is now back on the mountain to go do more checks here.
And I feel like this is probably the more conventional play. Most people aren't going to go to Catfish quite as soon as Magno. Like what Magno did is a conventional play But I feel like the even more conventional play is kind of a Kaesden's done here to go up mountain, not do catfish right now. That's a really not fun slow check.
Yeah. Also, we've got a second vanilla boss game. Why?
Oh yeah, think about that. These was vanilla, pods vanilla. Are we sure we rolled the right seed? Right.
Well, we activated blind without bombing the hole, so yes, but it is a little unusual.
I'll admit, part of me would actually love to see like a boss level end up being totally vanilla. I'd love to see those odds happen.
The odds are very slim. I don't know what it is, and I can't be bothered to calculate it right now, but it's not high.
Yeah, it's extremely unlikely. Like, just the point it's like basically impossible that we'll see it, which is why it would be cool to see it.
Yeah. To be fair, there is a good chance. There is actually a pretty good chance we have a vanilla Moldorm. As mentioned, there are only a handful of bosses that can physically fit on the Moldorm arenas. You can fit, I think the ones you can fit up there are Moldorm, of course. Helma fits up there, Moth, Cold Stare does, Vidi, and Blind might fit up there. So there's like a 1 in 5, 1 in 6 chance, and having already seen a Helmasaur, that's lower.
Pretty sure
Get a
Blind
second
can be up there. But everything else you said, I think is correct. I don't think you missed anything. You got them all.
Yeah. And Blind can't be run in Hera's Arena, gotcha, yeah. So yeah, it's like a 1 in 5 chance and not even quite that since you've already seen a Helma for a vanilla Moldorm, so there is actually a pretty decent chance of that in all reality.
So Kaesden's here is choosing to do, the vanilla way of doing Hera. Big Q is in the basement. And,
he can't Hera
pot. So actually doing this vanilla, not cheating.
No. I mean, he can't choose them, was the point.
Yeah, this makes sense to do. Like, at this point, like, you want to see what's in Hera, and this is a quick one to get back to later, even if you can't beat the boss. Like, this is one of the dungeons. It doesn't feel that bad if you have to leave and can't beat the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see our map. We still don't know too about pendant, so maps are welcomed.
Yep.
Well, backup I had nothing, so it wouldn't have
changed
anything for doing the boss first. Okay, there's a Cold Stare in Hera, which we can do with Bombos. Bombos, Fire Sword Hammer.
It's doable, it just won't be fun.
Kaesden could just use a lot of hammer hits, and then his backup do, like, some cape and fighter sword spins, if it goes a little bit bad. But you still have to get a lot of hammer hits. You don't use the cape at the very end. You don't have a lot of magic.
Watch where you're going! You can still fall down a hole. That does not disappear in boss either. And in the meantime, we've got Eastern here for Magno.
Down to half a heart for Kaesden. 1 hit and he's dead.
Yep.
1 down. Still scary though.
1 out of 3. Using spins to help protect himself a little bit.
Ooh, got a
little,
little greedy with that one.
Yeah, that's a death. Cold Stared for Kaesden, and he's gonna come back later, understandably.
Yeah, hopefully, ideally with hook shot later, just make it really quick. And I think it's pretty reasonable to give it an attempt there, because I have a pretty good shot to do this. So it's also like
you're right there, and you have the equipment to at least get the spin. It's worth it, yeah.
Yeah, I think that one's worth trying, even though you might mess it up. That's that one you shouldn't feel too bad about. I mean, Kaesden probably will feel bad about because it was a bit of a time waste doing the fight to not succeed, but ultimately I don't think that's gonna be too big of a deal for the race. Like, you shouldn't feel too bad about it. And there's the crate that opens at Mire.
Chest.
Mire is now openable. Well, you can't really go in. You need hookshot or boots to really get in, but we get one of those, and Pendant Mire becomes an option.
So, yeah, we even found the compass somewhere, so that's a concern.
Yeah, because in this mode, because we haven't mentioned this yet, maps and compasses are written into the logic. So in order for beating the dungeon to be in logic, not beating the boss, but beating the dungeon, you have to have logically been able to already be able to get the map and compass. So if you have the map and compass for a dungeon, it can tell you, oh, the game does logically expect me to go beat this dungeon, and that might make you be more likely to go do it because you know it's in logic. And then if you don't have those items when you beat the dungeon, then you know you may not be fully in logic yet. And Fire Rock for Kaesden out of Paradox. That's
alright. That'll make Coldstare quite a bit nicer, actually.
Yes, much nicer. And now we're 2 items away from being able to beat all the bosses, but that's gonna make Coldstare way better.
Yeah, because we can use Bombos to break the shell, but then we'll still have about half a magic meter left to go use Fire Rod, and Fire Rod's much more efficient and long-ranged, which is really helpful. Yeah,
with Bombos, that takes up 2 of your Fire Rod shots, so you still get 6 Fire Rod shots. You can combine it with Hammer, and then Cape with your Fighter Sword. And then Master Sword whenever Kaesden finally goes to Sank. Actually, wait. Does Magno not have Master Sword yet?
Kaesden does not have... Magno does not have Master Sword. I can confirm by look. I don't
Tracker.
think.
Yeah, Tracker says Fighter. Looks like. Yeah. He didn't go to Brewery.
Magno. He didn't do Brewery. Some people do Thieves Town before the Brewery, and he didn't go back.
Yeah,
I
think after Skull Woods, Magno didn't even do anything in the Village of Outcast or Thieves Dungeon area. Yeah, he just skipped Vuk entirely for right now.
Oh yeah.
That's
also Landmos. Substantially better equipment than their Landmos fights earlier today.
You know, I want to make fun of Magno for not doing NMG strats with the bow, but I would do exactly the same thing. Okay, that's already better than I can do. I can't say anything. That's better than I could do with bow strats.
I mean, this is substantially. I mean, they were stuck doing Cane Landmo earlier today, so this is an improvement. As you see, that's Bombos for TR on Kaesden's side.
Oh, it's Bombos? Okay, so we don't need Ether then.
Nope.
Oh, and the other bow. Kaesden's not gonna get silvers most likely, but he's got a bow. It's just good. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they can do what they can beat the Ganon without the silvers, so that's fine.
Yeah, let's make a few fights slow. Like, it's nice to have silvers for like Vidi and stuff. Like, no one in this race needs it, but just speed a few things up. But Magno's gonna get that other bow later, unless he gets that go mode kind of earlier or something. So Magno will probably get silvers. Kaesden most likely won't. So this will be a slight speed improvement for Magno, but at the same time, Kaesden doesn't have to go to Catfish now, which also is a time save.
Yep. Turning in the mushroom now for Kaesden. Let's see what this is. And map. That's a map here to Eastern. Thanks. We already know it's a red crystal.
And not the most exciting map. And okay, now Magno's coming to Village of Outcast in Thieves Town area. So let's see what he decides to do with the back of Thieves. Well, if he doesn't do the back, the only thing he's gonna miss out is on his cape, which probably won't be a big deal. We don't know yet about Spike Cave or where Bornra is at, but probably would be a huge deal.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to see Pod Eastern now for Kaesden, so he'll be picking up his next 2 crystals, and Magno's doing Thieves, which will be his 3rd crystal as well, so just seeing some things you've already seen. There's the Meyer info for Kaesden.
He's going to get Master Sword, yeah. He'll be a lot happier.
Yeah.
Or maybe unhappy because he got the Master Sword that late, because if he had it for Cold Stare, that fight would have been a decent bit easier.
Yeah, but as a work, he's gonna leave that behind it, which makes sense as well that he didn't go back after doing Right Side Death Mound, because it's a little bit of a trip to get back. And you don't even know if it's crystal or pendant right now, so you might as well leave that for later.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense to put off Hera to try it once.
Magno showing how you can do the Thieves boss before the back in Boss Miser and arriving on his vanilla blind. Blind requires the same number of hits no matter what equipment you're using on him. It's just hit him and don't get hit.
Yeah, and Magno has so much health. Yeah, he doesn't have capers to make it easy, but he has so much health that you can just take the hits and not care a whole lot.
Yep, and that's blind down for him with his third crystal here. Also forgot that was a nice compass here, which is nice to have.
Definitely, so Ice Palace is another one you want to know the boss before you go to the end. It feels bad to get there and realize, oh, it's Trinex. Oh, it's... No, Trinex even be in there?
Trinex can be in there. I have seen a surprise Trinex in that Ice Palace before in this tournament.
Okay.
Where it's like, oh, oops, you need the Ice Rod. Hi, Trinex.
Yeah, that or Argus in there.
Yeah, both can. I think the Ice Palace boss room is big enough. There's no restrictions on it.
That's what I would think. I would think any boss could be in there.
Trinex is big, and I think Trinex is one of the most restricted bosses because it requires a lot of room.
Trinex, and then possibly Blind's kind of restrictive because of how they work on. Blind works on like super tiles and subtiles and stuff.
Yeah. Land modes also are a little restricted as well, I believe.
Oh yeah. What areas can they?
Because you can't fit a Landmos on the Moldor Marinas or on the Landmos is one of several bosses that can't fit in the Skullwoods arena either.
They can be in Skullwoods. I fought Landmos in Skullwoods back before.
Oh yeah,
but you're
right.
right.
No, you can't. I'm mixing it up.
You're good. Okay.
So Rivian has a point. Landmos can't dig through a platform with holes. You're not wrong, to be fair.
Yeah, that's why. Like, the devs wanted to be logical, but you know about that. Wouldn't make any sense.
I am curious, thinking of quirks of Boss Miser while we see checks you've already seen. How many eyes do you think our Moldorms will have today? Well, Moldorm and Moldorms, plural, not sure which yet.
I want to go with the full 8.
I prefer 2 personally, although the last big boss seed I saw, there's Tempered on Sick Kid. Where did... Okay, sure. Yeah,
Magno just did his food checks, finally got mastered from Brewery, then immediately gets tempered from Sick Kid.
Yeah, I realized after I cut myself off because I looked at my notes and oh yeah, Bottles Eastern. Purple chest is herpes. But yeah, at the last McBoss seed I commentated had Moldor with 1 eye, and that just looks sad.
1 eye does seem sad. 2 eyes feels right. I mean, honestly, anything over 2 is a little creepy.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. It's, like, 8 at least is a full ring, which is yeah, pros and cons, I guess. But yeah, anything between 3 and 7 just looks really
red mail on the shovel, which on boss shuffle we're happy. So like, at this point, Magno should have an easy time not dying. Like, you don't have half magic or like fairies and stuff at the moment, but red mail, 11 hearts, that's pretty nice. And tempered, yeah. It's pretty good.
He's fine.
So
gonna do desert now because where I was going to go earlier a few minutes ago was where to go next, and desert's really our main clearable dungeon right now. We've seen most of Hero except for that cold stare. We physically can't get into Swamp. We don't have Fire Rod to finish Skull Woods.
Ice Palace.
They would rather not bother with ice, yeah, right now without flippers, and they physically can't get in the door of TR without a king.
Yep. So yeah, this desert makes complete sense. Someone's in Checkerboard, which we'll probably see after desert.
And desert has boots locked because I forgot to think about the fact we don't have boots yet. Oops. And there's a hook shot.
Okay. So because this hook shot cave, we can now beat Argus if Argus comes up. So we only are worried about Trinex now.
Yeah, immediately going up the mountain. That makes sense. Going to go up the
go
mountain once he does checkpoint.
The other thing Magno can do besides Hookshot Cave is Mire right now. Can't get into Mire now.
Yeah, Mire without a cane is maybe not the best healing play, but again, you just got locked out of desert and you don't have much else to do.
And Mire's dependent, so you don't have to go beat the boss. So you can still get at least 3 items from the front.
Also, Kaesden has Fire Rod. I forgot that was in Paradox, but Magno will get that on his trip to the mountain.
Okay, he's probably gonna go up mountain. He isn't the mountain like basically at all, so he's definitely going up there next. Yeah, it'd be silly to do Mire right now.
Yeah, no, he's doing the mountain first, and then he'll do the mountain, get that Fire Rod, do Skull Woods, and then we'll see where he goes next, depending on what he gets at a Hookshot Cave, quite likely.
Yeah, it's definitely what Magno should do. So much you can check. Where's he going? I'm trying to figure out where he's going. Oh, Pyramid Fairy.
Oh yeah, that's available. Yeah, I'm curious why he's doing this now, because Pyramid Fairy isn't really going to help him with anything on the mountain.
I'm guessing his reasoning is he's like, I already did these 2 dungeons. I want to build off that bow I got early, which let me beat these 2 dungeons for this access, and then maybe he can get another item, like maybe the Samaria, that will improve his options on mountain.
Yeah, possible, as Kaesden arrives on his second vanilla boss of the seed. Yeah, we do have very little in the way of prize info. We have not found many compasses. Not many compasses. We found a load of compasses and no maps is what we found.
And most maps we found keeping for things we already know about from Bomb Shop and Saha.
Yep. Again, Pyramid Fairy providing absolutely nothing. 6 bombs. Wahoo! And Magno just shaking his head.
Oh, and a bee to top it all off. Nice.
Yeah. Bees go look. Bees and bombs. Thanks, game.
And this makes sense. Magno, he actually has the mirror, so he can just take this portal, then mirror up and here the 2 caves on the right, then do Paradox and fall down and go back up to Bunny Cave.
Yep. And we'll also, let's see, where's my brain sidetracking to? Bottle acquired for Kaesden, which will get him his tempered off sick kid once he goes back there. Yeah, Magno is also going to be much better equipped for that cold steer at the top of Hera here, so that's good for him.
And no cape, but with tempered, Fire Rod, a red man, all these hearts, definitely a very good situation for cold steer.
Right, yeah, because Magno did do the back of Thieves Town, because the cape was back there. It doesn't matter, Pyramid Thumper Ledge was nothing. I do hope for Magno's sake that Spike Cape isn't anything this seed, because, well.
Yeah, you can do it out of logic with like a potion or red potion or fairy or something, but you're probably just not going to do it out of logic because it's not what you really want to do. You don't have to anyway.
Nope. Quick acquired for Kaesden, so he can now get in the door of Pendant Air if he wants to. But I am hoping for Kaesden's sake that cold steer doesn't have anything super important, because it's going to be a little bit before he gets back there, I think.
Okay, so this is interesting writing from Magno, because normally what we would do, he would have done Paradox, fallen down, got up Super Bunny, and then he would have done Hookshot Cave and checked TR Medallion, and then probably mirrored and done Spiral Cave. Or he would have gone down Hera, some order like that. But instead he's doing Paradox, then go up instead of falling down, then doing Spiral, then he's gonna go back down to his portal, walk back up Bunny Cave.
He's doing this so he can run over to Hera Spike. Yeah, Cerulean.
Okay, so he just... yeah, I guess he's doing Isolate Spiral. I guess this is the best way you can do it, if you wanna... I guess if you want to Isolate Spike Cave... I personally would here in his situation, but not unreasonable.
Yeah, I'm currently thinking about what checks we've got left, because we've got Super Bunny Hookshot Cave, we've got that Cold Stare and Hera. Let's see, what else are we? What else is available? We've got things like Graveyard Ledge, Catfish. There's Silvers for Magno.
We saw
Catfish. That was a bow. Whoops.
And we saw Graveyard Ledge.
Let's see. We've seen Smith Chain.
We saw all of Thieves. We haven't seen Meyer.
We haven't seen Meyer. Yeah, I think Magno was unhappy about the Silvers because he knows because that's an available Silvers, and he's hoping that, you know, Kaesden missed the Silvers on the bow on Catfish, and that was the only one available, but that's not the case here. That Kaesden here makes that Meyer play more appealing.
Also means we can dip into TR right now, and since you don't need Ice Rod necessarily for TR, it's a much better play.
Clearable, yeah. Never mind discussion on what to do next. TR it is.
Yeah, definitely TR at this point. You're up here. Very good chance you can full clear it, as long as it's not Trinex. And even then, there's a tiny chance you get Ice Rod on the way there, and you're good.
Yeah, we do. Looking at Magno's personal treasure, which we can see on the comms page, it looks like he does have the compass to TR, and the compass to just about everything else, actually.
That's actually super nice. I would rather have compasses and maps, almost. That's super nice going to TR. You can just check right away.
Yeah. Really nice. Someone in chat will need to keep an eye out for the compass, because I am absolutely horrible at identifying boss icons. I fail it 9 times out of 10.
Trinex. Okay, game.
Lovely.
Another vanilla boss.
Okay, game. Okay.
Cool. Well, is Ice Rod gonna be what it normally is in Total Rock?
Vanilla Ice Rod's an Ice Rod game. I guess, yeah, it doesn't like to be in TR.
Yeah, I think it's more like the meme, is it's usually in TR. But
I have absolutely no idea what the Skullwoods map, what the checker there was for Kaesden on that boss.
Yeah, it wasn't Armos, possibly?
Because Kaesden did just do a map check of the Skullwoods a second ago, as well at the same time as Magno checked the TR map, and I think we're all looking at TR and not Skullwoods. Whoops.
Yeah, we got too excited about that.
Schultzer confirming that was a set of Armos and Skullwoods. No helicopter for us today, sadly.
Boo.
For those who don't know, the Skullwoods boss room is one of the more restricted ones. The spikes and moving floor, it's a pretty small room to begin with, and the spikes do not help. So there are some restrictions on what bosses you can fit in there. Helmasaur does fit barely. But because it's such a small room, his tail ends up spinning basically non-stop, and it nicknamed the helicopter for that reason.
Another thing to note that I'm thinking about right now, so we don't know our last 2 pendants.
Nope. No info on that whatsoever, last I checked.
So, if the Trinex doesn't have to be beaten, and Swamp's a pendant, then technically we'd be in go mode already. That's probably not the scenario. We probably do have to beat a Trinex, because that's how the game is.
Yeah.
And we might have to beat Swamp. So, you know, it's definitely a tough choice to be able to say, oh, I'm in go mode. You need map knowledge just to at least be able to say that. And you probably need at least one of the 2 Ice Rod and Flippers, if not both.
Yeah. Also, Buttersword, sorry, they're in TR for Magno. So that's not... So he now has Buttersword, Silvers, Red Mail, a bottle, 11 hearts. He's fine.
Yeah, but no cape and no half magic. That's pretty tough still, you know. Oh, boots on
Boots!
Moss, and it's a pendant.
The boots are going to be a big help for movement for Kaesden, though.
Ooh, yeah. It would actually be bad. Maybe. Well, it may not be too big of a deal for Magno not to get those boots, because...
Desert's boots lock, though, is a point from Tito in chat.
Oh yeah, if Desert's a crystal, or has anything
Yeah,
important.
yeah, we might need those.
Yeah, so for Magno's hope,
Unfortunately for Kaesden, it's also sending him to... okay, I hope he goes to Meyer of Desert before Meyer first, though, yeah. Let's do that first, because I don't want him to miss Hookshot and go Meyer instead.
I would definitely imagine he would do Desert here first. It'd be weird to me if he didn't.
Yeah, especially because he doesn't know if Desert's a crystal or a pendant, and he knows Meyer is a pendant.
Yeah, he has.
Hopefully, for Magno's sake, he never gets the Skull Woods map. Agreed on that, Zelda. Magno needs to probably beat those Armos sometime.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is for Magno's sake, he does not want to map the Skull Woods because he wants to go over there because odds are very high he needs those boots.
At least this map to Skull Woods could be in GT. Yeah, because the maps and compasses for crystal dungeons have to be available before that crystal. So they can't be in GT, but pendant maps and compasses? Sure, absolutely. Second battle in the cave. He's gonna get his big key here, and then he'll get his hookshot in the next check. Maybe the check after that, depending on the amount of space, so he'll be getting it shortly. DR so far has turned up a butter sword and nothing else of interest, I think.
Yeah, nothing else. Just the blue potion, mimic cave, and the golden sword. Nothing we really need. Nothing we need. Oh, we still have 5 more checks. Well, I forgot key, so 4 more checks.
I think that's the last key. So we've got, yeah, we've got 4 items on Laser Bridge and 1 on the boss. I think there's hookshot for Kaesden. Yeah, the 2 things we're mainly looking is Ice Rod and Flippers at this point between our runners.
And yeah, Ruby, if the flippers would be pretty nice, and then also if they lock, for Magno's sake, it would be even better if the flippers locked the Ice Rod.
Yeah.
Which it very well could between Swamp Palace, and then our players probably aren't going to dive ice without flippers.
And well, speaking of them. 20 bucks here, and container.
The hard thing here, but trying to keep this mirror portal that Magnus can try to save, is if you want to go to Swamp, you're gonna immediately lose the mirror portal. You can do like Ice Palace, maybe go to Mire, Skull Woods, but you can't go to Swamp, which is one of the places you'd want to consider.
Yeah. He's instead gonna go Hera first, which makes sense. He's gonna find his cold stare and beat it. Matt Kaesden did a map check of Desert, but I have no idea what this boss is, so we'll see here in a second. It is also not apparently what he wants a full magic refill for. And that would be why. Hi, Viddy. Unfortunately, it does not have silvers or tempered or butter, so it's going to be a little slower, but the cape helps quite a bit.
Yeah, the cape makes it a whole lot easier. Plenty of health. Not too bad. We'll use the bow for second phase.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Ruby Magno has no magic right now.
That is a problem.
Does he? He has a blue potion though. He has a blue potion, which he'll use.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good thought. Cause yeah, he doesn't know that's there. He hasn't. This is his first trip in. He's gonna do a Herapod. I don't remember the basement being. I don't remember the big chest being anything. It's big chest, the basement, so he's fine.
Pendant Desert Palace. So that means the boots may not actually be required.
No.
Odds are pretty high they're not required, but we don't give me a certain know where Ice Rod is or GT Big.
Yeah. You know what it might be in? Ted.
Yeah, has a possibility.
And Kaesden's probably a little sad he just got tempered after beating his biddy.
To be honest, I always find it kind of interesting when we have these races where one person gets boots and the other doesn't, but the boots can sometimes waste your time, and so you end up, you don't really, at best maybe you go like equal on time having the boots. So I think I always think races, like, in my opinion, like this are interesting where the person without the boots is not necessarily behind at all.
Do you fit Trinex in Viddy's room, I'm thinking?
Trinex's Viddy's room? I think maybe. No, I think you can. Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, for sure. You're right.
Because I don't remember if the pool of poison at the back does anything for it, because the room size isn't the problem in that one.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Trinex in that room. Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah. Because I am a little suspicious of that pet.
And the only thing because... Dang. Magn's got quite a bit of options. At this point, I assume he goes Ice Palace first because he still wants to try to keep that mirror portal for TR. He's going to try to hold off on that. It'll probably be Swamp next, but if Ice Palace has your Ice Rod, then you can go up to TR, beat that, and not have to go as deep into it.
Yeah.
But the game probably won't be that nice and give him Ice Rod here.
No. And thankfully that Cold Stare and Hera was not useful for Magno, so that's good for Kaesden, because if that had been required, Kaesden would have been in a bit of a tough spot.
Yes. Okay, now, I guess I'm around Kaesden is going to get those silvers.
Yep. Getting tempered and silvers within 3 minutes of after beating Viddy always feels a little sad, because it's like, where was this 3 minutes ago?
Yeah.
But we are actually Ice Rod from No Mode, I think?
Yeah, it's just the Ice Rod. And we now know it's required because CR is now for sure a crystal because he's in the 3 pendants, so we know we need that.
In which case, it means it's time for a bet. Where's that Ice Rod?
My personal guess. I mean, I feel like Ice isn't going to have it. It could, but Swamp or Mire. No, I'm gonna say Mire. I think it's Mire.
Yeah, you can put your bet in the chat as well, Specky. And I'm afraid late bit we have already seen TR, so it is not in there or in Mimic Cave, as we see Ether in Ice Palace is not required for anything whatsoever. A reminder for those in chat, please put in exclamation mark bet and then your bet, otherwise it will not count.
And it looks like King Sim didn't have anything either. That one hold Magno.
Yeah. Here's the big key for Magno. Yeah, so places remaining in the scene. We have not seen the pet. We have not seen Swamp. The boss of Skullwoods needs marking for Kaesden, by the way, since that's not clicked right now, and the boss for it. We have a couple checks left in Ice Palace. We have not seen Pendant Mire or the Green Pendant turn in. And there's probably a couple overall checks I'm brainfarting right now.
Kaesden's probably gonna head up after. Let's see. Nope. So Boots can't like Ice Rod at this point. Well, it's dead, but Kaesden's probably gonna go up. Oh, he's gonna do Adalogic Ice Palace here. Okay, interesting.
Which might work out if Ice Rod's in here or behind here.
They have to be on the boss at this point. We've seen nothing else from Magno. Not a bad play there from Kaesden. Like, out south
Yeah.
for committing to Mountain. Because for him, Mountain was only Hookshot Cave and Tiara right now. And beating
Yeah.
Hera. I guess Spike Cave too for me. But my point is, like, it's not as good as it was for Magno at this point in the season.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, it's also Keyless Ice for Kaesden, so this is going to be a little slower.
That's true, because Mario was in Hookshot Cave.
And they've got a very pale-colored Mothula in this Ice Palace to go with the color scheme. Very quick fight here with Butter Sword, and we're done.
So Magnus probably didn't go to Swamp Palace and lose his portal. But if Ice Rod's in Swamp, then you knew what you did was required.
No?
By that I mean going to TR without Ice Rod. What was actually required because of a vanilla Trinex.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants to keep the mirror portal, so he's going to Meyer then, probably.
Interesting.
That's a bit not unreasonable, but that's definitely a gamble there. If he really wants to keep the portal,
it is a gamble.
that he's gonna go for the pendant Meyer.
Taking a very slow death on the 13 Hearts Red Mail.
That's a pretty big gamble, though. Like, there's a pretty...
It is.
Because, like, you have to beat Swamp anyway. It's a crystal. He knows Mayo's a pendant. And with Swamp, you have quite a bit of checks, and it's actually to Magno's benefit for the Ice Rod to be locked behind the flippers, because that then justifies the TR play. If Meyer has the Ice Rod, that's actually worse for Magno. So I get wanting to keep... Okay, where's he going? Oh, Skullwoods. He's going to do Skullwoods first.
Yeah, looks like it. We're going to close the bet when Magno finishes, gets his boots. By the way.
Because Magno doesn't know that Desert and Skullwoods are pendants. So he might be betting on Skullwoods and Desert then, because he doesn't know the pendants yet.
No, he doesn't know his pendant.
So that makes more sense. If he goes to Meyer though before Swamp, that's a huge gamble. Like, doing Skullwoods and Desert in his situation makes sense. But that's also the point, though. It's like he knows for sure Swamp's a crystal. So like, he has a guaranteed crystal that he can do, and if Ice Rod's there, that's to his benefit at this point. Versus Skullwoods and Desert, which might be pendants, we know they are, he doesn't. So it's definitely still, like, I would say the higher risk choice. Not a wrong choice, just the higher risk choice.
Yeah. Magno will get his boots, so this is gonna be... Kaesden is getting some time back by having boots, and he's not losing the time to doing Pendant Skullwoods because Magno's doing the same thing, so that helps a little, actually.
Yeah, this helps put even things out a lot better, because Magno was most likely ahead at the time, but this will help even things back out. I mean, that's because Magno doesn't have this, this map knowledge still.
No, and that is definitely helpful for Kaesden. There's the boots. And a pendant.
So I'm guessing Magnus is going to Death Warp again here, because he wants to keep his portal.
I'd assume so, yeah. Unfortunately, he is also back. He's decided to give up on it. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, at this point, like, he's going to keep it for so long. I think, yeah, it's a good time to
13 Hearts Red Mail is just such a slow Death Warp. And he also, Fire play.
Could be Desert still. Probably Desert because it was boot lock.
First.
And then that's when we get the interesting call. Does he go follow the flippers in the swamp? Also, now he doesn't have a portal. Because after he beats this dungeon, he's going to know his pendant knowledge like we know, and Kaesden knows. So then he'll know, okay, I have to beat Swamp. If my Ice Rod's there, I'm good to go. So to me, that'd be quite the choice to choose Meyer after beating Desert and having full pendant knowledge.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he doesn't just run straight for Swamp Palace after Desert here. Moss down for Kaesden, and that is his fourth crystal here.
Also, Schultz, that's a good point, because Magno also doesn't know TR is a crystal, so he's just hoping maybe he can get away with no Ice Rod, because he is like, he didn't check much of Desert as he could have for items.
He didn't do right side, no. So he's gonna hope it's not that. Unfortunately, we know that TR is a crystal, and this is the pendant. His last pendant, and he will need to find that Ice Rod. As I forgot to close that bet, so I will do that now.
Well, I don't think it's a 50-50 movie. I don't think it's a 50-50 on bets, because Desert has 3 items. No, 4 items.
In no prizes, he refers to crystal pendant.
Oh, on prizes.
Items.
I can't read. That makes more sense.
You're good.
Oh, we have the Silver's fight here for Magno.
Yeah, silvers and butter. This will be pretty quick. So Ruby there in the chat as Kaesden's gonna come back to Hera to go kill that cold stare. And that is a penalty for Magno, who doesn't look happy about it.
He is not happy. That's because now he's like, I should have just gone to swamp.
Yeah.
And now he knows he needs the Ice Rod, and he now knows he's not in go mode.
Yeah, very sour face indeed, because Jack can't see it, we can see his personal face cam, and he's got opinions. As here goes round 2 with Cold Stare for Kaesden, which should hopefully go much better.
Yeah. Night and day,
as long as
better
it doesn't fall down a hole.
Yes.
Because no matter what your equipment is, if you fall down a hole, that you're still gonna have to redo it. But that goes down pretty nicely, and that is crystal number... yeah, that's 4 now. Yeah, so no, that's 5. I really can't count today, apparently.
Yeah, you're good. We've seen a lot of dungeons. It's a little hard to keep track with all the pendants, so...
Yeah, I was also commentating their game too, so I was a little tired, and a little... too much in the way of seed bleed, but yeah.
Nah, it's definitely a thing. I get that.
It's been a long few hours.
So Casey's gonna check cave and then assumably go into TR.
I'd assume so. So he's also gonna be he's basically just following Magno, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah. There's nowhere to really make a play for Ice Ride, so it seems like Magno's basically ahead with most of the TR play at this point.
Yeah, effectively. I'm trying to think of how Kaesden's a good couple minutes behind right now.
He had race time on Cold Stare earlier.
The multiple triples up the mountain for that, yeah, that's a good point. Caneless ice doesn't help as I'm reminded by that cane.
That's true.
He also did do the Thieves Town back, which is a couple minutes.
Oh yeah, Thieves Town back would be a big one too. Yep.
So I think it's just a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there that added up.
Yeah, I think it's the 3 main things as you said. So Back of Thieves, Cold Stare and Hera, and then and also having to do a non-Hero pot Hera at that time, and then a slow non-Icebreaker Ice Palace.
Yeah. Because otherwise the routing hasn't been extremely off the charts different between the two.
No, some different ordering choices. Not hugely different, yeah. Like they both chose to do Pyramid Fairy, and only actually no, Kaesden did it make some sense. Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of similar routing choices. Odds are very high at this point that Ice Rod's in Swamp. I'm trying to think. Like, it could still be in Mire. Could still be in Mire.
Could still be in Mire, could still be in Swamp, could still be on that pedestal or green pendant. Unless it's a Vidi in Mire, which is still possible.
You mean Trinex? Yeah, you're good.
Because, speaking of bosses, actually, looking at our bosses so far, the bosses we haven't seen is, we haven't seen a Moldorm, we have yet to see an Argus, We haven't seen Moldorm, Argus, or any repeats. So decent chance we have. It's at least a 1 in 5 chance of getting a vanilla Argus here. And then we'll see in the rest. Decent chance that the Moldorm is vanilla in GT as well, since the Moldorm 2 arena is quite restricted. Don't forget the key, Kaesden. This should be better sort of in here if I remember correctly. Yeah. And Magno, one item from Go mode is gonna go do back first.
Yeah, this makes sense. You have to do it. You can come back in. I'll make choices to skip it and go to Maya. You probably come back in and do left side if you don't get it in the back here. We'll see.
Interesting play from Kaesden. He got the Butter Sword and stole the key and bailed.
He's gonna go to Spike Cave, which we've not seen.
That is one of our remaining overall checks. Third bottle from Magno in the back of Swamp.
This is probably Kaesden's like best out. If Ice Rod's here, that's good.
Gonna go. Yeah, he can go mode Swamp, which is a really big thing.
And Magno's more likely to do left side Swamp and do Meyer after this in Spike Cave.
Yeah, like Spike Cave is a orphan check on the mountain for this point for Magno. He does not want to go back there.
And it's not in logic as far as he knows, because he doesn't have the cape or Borna.
No,
oh my god!
Oh my goodness! As we say that, that's huge for Kaesden.
That's oof. And
Game, why is Spike Cave our Go mode 2 seeds in a row?
Okay, that hurts. And the cape to put it in logic was in the Thieves' Attic in Boss Shuffle.
Thieves.
Oh my god!
That's just, and we have no clue where the Burna is.
That hurts.
Yeah.
If it was in logic, I could see Magno here. Well, he probably would have already done Spike Cave if he had it, like an item to put it in logic. But I mean, if it's not in logic, he's not going to go back up the mountain to do Spike Cave.
No, it's one check. It's one check. He's done everything else on that mountain. A book might send him back up there, I guess, but that's about it.
That hurts.
That hurts. And Kaesden now has the lead, because we know he'll hit Flipper's Go mode in a minute or two on Laser Bridge, and he can just Go mode all of Swamp Palace.
And single dip TR, yeah.
And that's a big thing to just not do 2 trips through TR, because it does take a minute or two to run back through the place.
So what we learned from this is that in Boss Shuffle, you know, back of Thieves and Boss Shuffle strikes again. In a less direct way than we expected, but back of Thieves and Boss Shuffle is such a... This is definitely one where, if I was Magno, I would, I'd definitely be pretty salty afterwards on this one. I would not be happy about it.
Yeah. Alright, with that, let's go resolve the bet. No one bet anything close to Spike Cave, so that's gonna be no one wins on that one. But we are going to switch to Kaesden's audio, because yeah, he is definitely ahead. Unless Magno, for who knows what reason, decides to go back to Spike Cave after Swamp. He's got other things to do, which is not going to pay out.
Yeah, just for him, analogic Spike Cave, like, why would you go do that? Again, it's just someone else mentioned in chat. Magno even has Back of Thieves still to think about, so...
And that is 3 items, which is...
And Pendant Mire.
Not, yeah, Back of Thieves is 3 items, I think, which isn't bad, honestly, when you're running low on checks like this. And yes, we are switching MSUs. We've got the Final Fantasy Mix MSU. Final Fantasy Mix MSU for Kaesden, and it was a great Ace Attorney Chronicles for Magno.
Also,
I can't talk, apparently.
The best thing Magno could have found here was Borna to put Spike Cave in logic. Gets the fillet. Doesn't help, but cool.
Yeah, thanks. You can do Spike Cave without Cape or Burna. He's got 15 hearts and bottles for potions, but it's not in logic. He can, but why would you when for all he knows his Cape and Burna are both in GT?
Yeah, I would go for the in-logic choices that are also like better like bulk checks before I would consider an out-of-logic Spike Cave.
It was Steve's Zadek Schultzer. Kaesden did that before the boss, which ended up being a vanilla blind. Magno beat one and quit, so...
Boot checks here from Magno, I would believe.
I'd assume so, yeah. Fortunately, Kaesden did these already. They were absolutely nothing worth mentioning.
Yeah, he's doing boot checks, okay.
All not too terrible as McBoss seeds go, I think.
If I was Magno, I'd be like, yep, that's McBoss. Because back of Thieves Town you don't have to do boss shuffles. Arguably, what decided this game, one person did it and allowed them to Spike Cave for Ice Rod. One of them didn't do it, so therefore didn't do Spike Cave because it wasn't in logic. So this is some boss shuffle shenanigans. Basically, yeah, Kaesden made the right 50-50 call, and Magno didn't. And even though Magno was ahead otherwise, like that's what it comes down to, is that one 50-50 decision in this case.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot we never did see Hobo, so that's a thing.
Personally, movie, I would not Spike Cave out of logic if I had faster bulk checks I could do. But, just preference thing.
Yeah. Not ironically, this was Spike Cave Go Mode 2 seeds in a row, essentially. Because their game 1 was also Spike Cave Go Mode, except for it was the TR Big Key in that seed, which, you know, same thing, practically. And they're about as happy with that Big Key as they're going to be with this Ice Rod.
Yep, and Matt is going to go here, Dependent Mire, which in his situation makes complete sense. This is what I would be doing too, in his scenario.
Yeah, this is from his perspective, this is a good play. There's a bunch of items in here. This is also the green pendant and your last pendant.
You have the map and I think the compass, so it's like fully in logic. Like, the game's been screaming Mire for a while. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten multiple vanilla bosses. And we are guaranteed, let's see. We had Two-Eyed Moldorm and Swamp. That took me a second to remember what it was.
We had a... Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we are missing a Helmasaur and 3 repeats between Mire and the GT bosses. It's kind of funny we've gotten to this point in the seed with no repeat so far. It's not common to make boss.
Yeah, we actually had great diversity today. That is strange.
Last McBoss seed, I think we had 2 of our 3 repeats very, very quickly, but no, we haven't seen a single repeat boss this seed. They've all been unique. I didn't catch if Magno did a map check or if that... Because if this is a Helmasaur, then it's guaranteed all repeats in GT. There's the Hera map. So while we watch our runners play the seed here, let's give our runners a follow. Magno and Kaesden, as well as my co-com Specky. I will be posting your link shortly. There's Burno, so that's good. Eventually for Magno, and thank you to our trackers, Zerubian and Raka as well. Yeah, any part. Huh. Okay, I'm a little low on conversation topics right now as we watch our play here, because we've seen just about all the items in the game. We know where our go mode is.
Yeah, I do. I think Magno did skip cutscene chest. Is going straight to the
I
boss.
think he did.
Which honestly makes sense. There's literally 3 items from beating the boss.
Oh, and I was wrong. It's not a Helmosaur we're missing, but it's an Argus we're missing. Whoops.
Oh yeah, no Argus.
Thank you, Zerubian. Yeah, we haven't seen Argus. Is the one boss we have not seen. So either this is an Argus or a duplicate. Yeah, dupe could be interesting. Tells us what we could expect in GT. Because let's see, Argus can't appear on Moldorm 2. I think they're gonna appear on the other 2 arenas. And there's the 2-eyed Moldorm down for Kaesden. And blind number 2!
It's a little bit annoying because it's all the damage up top. Magno it does have a fairy in case things do go bad. And then Kaeden's on his way up the climb now to go GT and find the big key and finish the game off.
Yep, speaking of that GT big key, do you want to discuss a little game we like to play?
Yeah, pick a number between 1 and 22 for where the big key is going to be in Gans Tower. Star, do you have a pick?
I usually say 14. More guys already taken that, so I'll go with 21. For chat's sake, bosses that can be in Moldorm 2 include Mothula, Helmosaur, Coldstare, or Vidi. Mothula, Helmosaur, Coldstare, Vidi, or Moldorm. So any of those could be a repeat. We have to have an Argus, so that's going to either be Ice Argus or Argus on Lamos 2. It could be two of those on those 2 boss arenas, but we don't know.
Going to see Pedpole by Magno. That's fun. Not for him, but you know. Can't even check it first, no book.
Yep. And just a blue pea.
Okay, so probably Saha, and then Spike. Oh, maybe Back of Thieves still, but probably Saha next. And then either Back of Thieves or Spike, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Because we've seen most of the game again from these 2. Alright, check number 1 is a small key. Check number 2 is a red rupee.
And then we put the key. We can go to the right here and do compass room.
Saha was 10 arrows.
Okay, Magno is doing Spike Cave, so we'll skip the Back of Thieves.
So he will be in go mode here, then run over to TR, and
Maybe we'll probably see him in GT before Kaesden finishes this off.
I think so. Half magic on right side GT, and then is check on check number 4, and that is checks numbers 5 and 6 as well. Nothing over there.
This would be 7, then?
Yeah, 7 on the torch. Then 8 through 11 in there's Ice Rod for Magno. And then it'll be 8 through 11 on Dark Magician Room. 12 on Fire Bar, 13 on Fire Snake.
Can't imagine Magno's too happy about the Ice Rod in Spike Cave.
Nah, I don't think so.
He was in Ice Rod Go mode for what, like half an hour more? Or something?
It's been a
It was
while,
a while,
yeah.
yeah. Oof.
And nothing in Dark Magician besides a couple small keys. Ice Eradicate Hunt sucks to confirm. Yeah.
Yep. So you are at 12 checks, coming up on 13. Yeah, 13.
Still no sign of that big key. I kind of wanted to go to at least, the routing here would be 18 would be our first, no, it would be 19 would be our first check behind the ice, behind the boss on ice.
Oh, yes.
To see what the boss there is. Let's see, 14 through 17 were a load of nothing except for a mirror shield, which doesn't do anything.
Next, you get another 4 checks in here, and probably here. That could still be tile room. I know some people in McBoss prefer to do tile room earlier, so they can potentially avoid nice Trinex, as some people do.
Yep. It is possible to get a nice Trinex since that Argus we're missing could just be on the Alignment 2 fight. Burnham was in Meyer, which did turn out to be good for Magno in the sense that it pushed him back to Spike Game a little bit faster.
Yeah, I gotta skip back of these at least.
Well, it's not check number 17, so let's see what this boss is.
So this would be 19, 20, and 21
And that's Nargus.
Okay, cool. We've got at least one every boss. You often don't see that in McBoss, where we actually see one of each boss who we come up against.
No, but there were virtually no repeats among the regular dungeons with. And right, Cork of McBoss says once you finish the first phase, you can just go through, and there it is. Check number 20 is that big key.
Looks like
the Argus did have
Mercenary
to exist.
Guess
so
20. So, Evil Mercenary, you win.
Yep. Congratulations. You win a lifetime supply of Link to the Past Randomizer seeds, redeemable at ALttPR.com. Terms and conditions do apply. We are not responsible for any emotional or physical damage you may suffer while playing the randomizer. If a seed takes longer than 4 hours, please consult a YouTube tutorial. Yeah, how that worked with the door opening after you took down the first phase of Argus is that the kill rooms like that check to see if there's enemies on the screen, so when Argus leaves the screen for during the second phase, the door just opens. I mean, you could be like Vitor if you end up having trouble with Rando. I don't know that he would respond to you, but you could in theory.
Okay, and 7 crystals for Magno now, going to GT.
Yep.
Actually beat every single dungeon. Not Agro 1,
Yes.
but all pinned in crystal dungeons.
Yeah, it never feels good really in non-all dungeons modes when you've got just about everything lit up on your tracker.
Yeah, and in this seed, Magno would know, like, well, technically, yeah, he got boots from Skull Woods, but Skull Woods, Desert Palace, and Mire never gave any required progression at all. Well, he could argue that the Burner and Mire was logically required because he doesn't know where Cape's at, but, I mean, you almost don't even count the one because you could do Spec Cape out of logic. So,
Yeah.
basically, you got boots, which were nice, but it would have been a lot faster to...
Oh, Trinex just whacked Kaesden. That's a death. And yeah, the Ice Head cannot do anything in that room because in Boss Miser, the Ice Head gets nerfed because otherwise things break.
Yeah, ouch. Yeah, Ice Trinex calls again. Dang.
Yep. It's not a
It's not
Trinix
ice,
on ice, but the
but-
ice head will troll anyway.
I have that habit. If I see Trinix in GT, I just say Ice Trinix, even though that's not how it works. Yeah, yeah. So, but Kaesden might take the safety door this time. Get some fairies. Would be a good call on the second trip up. I think Kaesden still has a blue potion from Mimics and TR. If you have the blue potion, he should be fine. He just probably he'll be more careful this time. Shouldn't be an issue.
Having some fun with Gyptos on the right side. Gonna probably also looking to do probably a similar GT routing to Kaesden, getting half magic there. And here's round 2 with this Trinix.
He has a lot more health this time because he thought he knew it was coming this time. So, and just yeah, he'll have no problem with this next phase. Just gotta get the double spin here, and then one slash. And then no more Trinexes this seed. Okay, you guys can't see the streams, but we can still see them. So
Oh, you're kidding. Okay, I wasn't sure if it just broke for conversation for you guys. But yeah, Trinix is down. Let me go.
yeah, I can focus on comms if you want to focus
switch.
on that.
Yeah, I'm also on the commentary page, which is why I didn't notice immediately.
But Kaesden is in Torches 1 on the climb. Okay, now you guys can
and
see.
we're back.
Okay.
Not sure what happened there. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Kaesden is skipping all the chests. There's nothing you need.
No, he's
Straight go
got
mode.
Silver's Butter Sword, Red Mail, 11 Hearts. He's fine.
Another
And
video.
we've got a Viddy.
Cool. And this time, Kaesden can sell Silver's forward.
I don't know if the Trinix on GT Climb was our first Trinix of this seed.
We also have the one in TR.
I mean, in theory, if it hadn't been a TR Trinix, that would have been quite the thing to come up here and go, oh.
Need the Ice Rod? Yeah. That's actually, those are always like the hardest situations, is where you need Ice Rod before GT, like to beat your crystals, but then you have to, in GT, you're like, what, just like 2 bosses that might be Trinix, and it's rough to go into GT and hope for no Ice Rod.
No.
It's always a rough situation.
Thank you for the sub there, 21 months. Thank you so much.
So Magno should be on the climb by the time Kaesden finishes this off.
Looks like it. A couple minutes apart here, but pretty good race.
Yeah, it just came down to, for Kaesden, Spike Cave was a much more natural choice to make because it was in logic with the Cape Back of Thieves, and Magno wasn't in logic, so it was a worse play that could have been a huge time loss. And outside of that, they made some different ordering decisions. They both played pretty well, but Kaesden's decision to do Back of Thieves and getting Cape ended up paying off by making Spike Cape a better choice later on to get the Ice Rod. So that choice to spend more time on Thieves at the beginning and take a risk in the long run paid off.
Yeah, because he was behind for a bit, in part because of that Thieves play, and then they just turned right around.
I know I kept saying most of the race, I'm like, okay, probably won't matter.
Until it did.
And then it did.
And that's how rando goes sometimes.
And yeah, get your GGs in chat for Kaesden, who is going to take this game and win the best of 3, 2-1 against Magno, moving on from round of 16 Challenge Cup to round of 8. So congrats to Kaesden.
That is going to be an official racetime.gg time of 1:44:45. Commence ranting about how the seed is maintained. I think the runners definitely had opinions on this one. But we are going to go to bring Kaesden in here for an interview as we watch Magno finish out the seed here. Hey Kaesden, GG.
Hey, GG.
So thoughts on that seed on that race, Kaesden? And also congrats on making it to the next round of Challenge Cup.
Seed wasn't that bad. I played kind of bad, I felt. I've definitely played better. But 4 hours of rando is kind of draining, so.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that seed.
Yeah, I felt pretty good when I got Ice Rod. Like I went into TR with the compass so I could check, and I decided to do the front 4. I was about to go do Smith Chain, and I decided, you know what? I don't want to lose to Spike Cave again twice in a row. So I was like, let's just go do this real quick. Turns out it's Ice Rod. It's like, oh, well, that's good. So
yeah.
I felt pretty good at that point, and then GT happened, and that was a thing.
Yeah, you were probably... I imagine you had to be feeling nervous after taking that death to that Trinex there.
As soon as I died to him, I was like, well, there goes, like, all the time save that I probably got over a potential double dip of TR. So, like, I don't know if you go all the way through TR there looking for Ice Rod, because how often is it just on Laser Bridge?
That's what Magno did. Got flippers.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally reasonable, but you get flippers there, then you're full clearing swamp, and, like, that's just... Like, I felt good when I found the Ice Rod, but then those deaths, they were punishing.
Getting that, I already talked to Magno, mentioned chat already, but yeah, getting the cape from Back of Thieves, which Magno did not do, to put that Spike Cave in Logic, made a huge difference, because
yeah,
Magno almost hard loss located the Spike Cave, because he got the Bona in Mire, and that's when he finally went and did it. So the only thing he skipped was Back of Thieves this seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, if this wasn't MC Shuffle and this was only Boss Shuffle, I'm skipping the Back of Thieves too. But knowing that there's items back there just because maps and compasses are also shuffled, it made it a lot easier decision to full clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you taking that time to do those, be more thorough, do those checks, take the time, it paid off in the long run, got you to Ice Rod and gave you a huge advantage.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It does look like Magno is finishing this one out.
Yep, he's not too far behind. He was in the GT basement when he finished Kaesden.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious where he was when I died. 'Cause I was so
finishing
scared when
TR,
that
I think.
happened.
I think he was in finishing TR at the
Okay.
time, if
Yep.
I remember correctly.
He hadn't been in climb for very long when you beat Ganon.
Gotcha.
And 2 nice doubles, and that'll be GG's to Magno as well. Going to finish up the seed and his tournament run here, unfortunately. With an official race time.gg time of, once he crosses that bridge, 1:48:55. GG's Magno, who is now joining us for interview. GG.
Yo, GG's Kaesden.
GG Magno.
Oh, that dang cold's there. Any other boss and I still have my blue potion and I would do Spy Cave 100% after. It's
Yeah.
so sad. I mean, even me grabbing the full magic in the Turtle Rock pipe, no, not pipe maze, but the Zumaria block, dark room, whatever. I
Yeah.
would have had magic for cold stare, but I had 0 magic. And when I
Yeah,
saw cold stare, I drank my blue potion and that took my game, I guess.
Yeah, that was just rough. I had died early in Hera. I went up there with just Bombo, Spider Sword, and Hammer.
Did you know about crystals and pendants? Because I didn't
I
pick up
didn't.
any maps.
I
So,
didn't. So after
me, it
I
was-
died to him there, I was like, well, I hope that's a pendant, because if it's not, like, I've lost a good chunk of time. If it's a pendant, as long as there's nothing on Cold Stare, like, whatever, I'll just move on and just hit it there. And then after I cleared desert, I got the last pendant, and I was like, well, that sucks.
So for me, it was like, okay, it's a Trinex, but Turtle Rock might be a pendant. So let's go for it. There's so many items in here. Let's just do it. And I can even save my portal. So,
Right.
and I got those flippers, and then eventually I saw, yeah, those are required. So if Turtle Rock's just a pendant, I did like the perfect amount of Turtle Rock. And
Right.
yeah, so I had 2 times, if this is a crystal, I'm in go mode. When I did Skullwoods, I was like, if it drops a crystal, I'm done. I'm in go mode. And here goes a pendant. And then I go with those boots. Oh, dude, if desert's now a crystal, I'm in go mode. Let's go.
Mhm.
And there drops a pendant, and wow, now I'm an ice rod hunt, and this could be anywhere.
Right.
Ah. That was
Yeah,
just one
sounds
hard
like we
short.
had a really different route. Like, we found the same things, hoping for different dungeons to be pendants, but it just wasn't happening.
So I put off Thieves Town for a long time because of the bag of Thieves Town, and I was like, if I have not much else left, I do Thieves Town with the bag. So I didn't do any Village of Outcasts with those mids and hammer. I
Okay.
did Skywoods, got my mirror, and went north to Catfish even. Got my bow and did both bow dungeons. And
Oh, okay.
so yeah, I kinda did.
Yeah,
put
I
off
did.
Thieves
I did
Town.
Thieves Town pretty early, and just with map compass shuffle, I was like, I'm not gonna skip the back. Like, I can full clear it. I know you don't have to because of boss shuffle, but knowing there's items back there that early, it just felt like I had to do it. And plus, I had already died to Cold Stairs. So it's like I needed something to kind of try and pay out.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's random, right? Anything can happen.
Yeah.
If
Mhm.
like the Waterfall Fairy drops another potion instead of a bee, then I'm good to go. If there's like 2 more hearts on the way, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Heck, even if you just get a fairy from the bushes before you go into Spike, that can help sometimes too.
yeah.
But it always seems like if you need them, they're not going to spawn, or you don't have a bug net or something. It's always
Wait,
something.
I think Bugnet was in Red Bomb. No, where was Bugnet?
I didn't get it this seed. I got it last seed. I think it was the last seed. It might have been in
It could have been in
Pyramid or
Magno.
something. I don't remember. A little bit of seed bleed between the two.
Oh, what item?
The
Bugnet.
Bugnet.
Yeah, I never
Oh,
found
yeah.
it in this one.
It was Left Side Swamp in this seed, so yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
were in go mode by then.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, good luck for the ongoing tournament now.
Appreciate it.
Win it in the long term.
I'll do what I can, but still rando. Anything can happen.
Yeah, that's for sure. Specky here is actually your next opponent, Kaesden, so that's, I guess, it on YouTube.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
that's
be
going to be
fun.
another fun, tough race.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. But yeah, GG's to both of you guys. It was a fun race to watch. I'm glad I wasn't racing it, but it was fun to watch you guys race it. So, yeah, congrats, Kaesden. GG's to both of you. I know I kept saying most of the races.
Yeah, thank you guys for calming, tracking.
Thanks for the double restream too. That was kind of cool. The first
yeah,
time I've had
glad
that
we were
happen.
able to get it on. Yeah, that was good to get it on. GG's to you both. Great pair of races to watch and to commentate. GG's again. Good luck to Kaesden and Specky in your next matches, and GG's as well, Magno. Sadly, this is the end of the tournament for you. But any last thoughts, I guess?
Just a big thank you, and have a great day or night.
Yeah. So please do give both of our runners a follow, Magno and Kaesden here, as well as my co-comps Becky and our two trackers, Zeruvian and Raka here, with links in the chat. See, coming up ahead on the CSR schedule, this is going to be it for us tonight. We've got a quieter week coming up. Our next match currently on the schedule, is going to be Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We'll have the Winter Randomizer Mini Blins tournament. Group 4 losers finals between Skinny D and Tweety. The next ALttPR CC match currently on the schedule is going to be our first quarterfinals match, Alex Jess versus Adirondack Rick. Their game 1 is at 5 p.m. on Thursday, and we'll be trying to put on as many of the quarterfinal matches as we can, so you'll be sure to see plenty more restreams as those matches get scheduled and added to the ZSR schedule. To that effect, please do also join the ALttPR Challenge Cup Discord. If you want to, get updates on the tournament, or volunteer for race streams, or anything else, please check that out. Meantime, though, that shall be it here for us. Thank you for watching all, and we will see you next time.